Hello, bigger alligators. Mrs. Bannister here. So you've read the read aloud with me, and now I wanted to share with you guys a small lesson about self-management. So in that story, I know you guys are probably thinking, Mrs. Bannister, why are you reading us a picture book? But it's a really good book to think about the idea of how Sophie got super duper angry, right? And she had an escalation where she was yelling and screaming, which is like attack or fight in animal brain. And then she actually ran away, which is running away. So, I mean, it's a really good indication of what can happen when our self-management skills are not working. So it's almost like a little bit of like what not to do and then what to do, because later in the story she spends some time doing something that I'm going to ask you guys to do. Okay, so here comes the heavy lifting, the work. And I know you 4th and 5th graders are pretty much rock stars, so you can do this. So when we think about self-management, I want you guys to think about two things, okay? You guys all, I've talked enough about feelings and big feelings, little feelings, animal brain, talking big brain. I want you guys to start thinking about how to manage those feelings, because especially under these circumstances, A, we're having a lot of different feelings, like, and we're all kind of in a confined space usually. But B, your feelings, your reactions are having an impact on other people. So whether that's the adults that are taking care of you, or your younger or older brothers and sisters, or cousins, or whoever it is that you're staying with right now and living with, your awareness, your feelings don't just impact you, right? Like, we're beginning to see, like, wow, there's like, we have an impact on other people just as much as they have an impact on us. So this could actually be an exercise for everybody. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, this is a good exercise for me. Like, I need it too. So the tips that I want to share with you today, and these are just tips, right? Like, you're not expected to give me anything back like I told you, but I do want you to at least think about it, okay? You can send me a message and I try my very best to get back to you as quick as I can. It takes me a little bit longer than maybe usual, but a main thing I want you to do is just to maybe try a couple of these tips. So this is the tips, okay? When you find yourself in a place of needing some self-management, so that could actually not necessarily be just a negative feeling. Sometimes we might have a really big positive feeling. So one way to kind of center ourselves, bring ourselves back to a place of, like a fancy word I like to use is regulation, which kind of just means like even. We're kind of even, right? I'm not like down in the dumps, and I'm not like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I'm just kind of like, kind of regulated, like what Sophie looked like, hold on, here. She looks pretty regulated as opposed to here, where she was not regulated, okay? So she was angry, but we can also get kind of dysregulated with excitement, or we can get dysregulated with sadness. Some kids are feeling really sad right now because they're missing their friends. They're missing their teachers. There are adults that feel sad right now because we miss you guys, the kids, okay? So to bring ourselves back to a place of regulation, okay, remember? I kind of like that. We are going to do an exercise called SIFT. It's kind of a funny word. Okay, all you bakers out there know how to sift flour, but this is different. This is sift, S-I-F-T, same word as sifting flour, but we're going to use the letters as a cue for something else. So the S in sift stands for sensations. So what we can do when we are regulated and or dysregulated is assess the sensations in our body. Okay, so I'm going to do it with you guys. Okay, and you can do it with me or you can do it after the video. But as I sit in my basement still, okay, I notice some sensations in my body. Okay, I notice the pressure of my back on this futon. Okay, I notice my feet are cold on the ground. I notice that my hands are warm on this blanket I have on my couch that my dog usually sleeps on while I'm working down here. I notice the heat from my cardigan because it's a little warm down here too. I'm assessing the sensations. I'm also noticing that my wrist feels a little funny from holding this paper and book. When I begin to take in my environment, those sensations I feel with my body, I begin to regulate myself from the inside out. Now we're going to work on the images. This is taking the outside and kind of regulating inward. I can use my eyes to look at the images around me to connect myself to a more regulated state. So as I sit here with you, I see my basement. What do you see? In my screen recording, I see a monkey puppet and a dog toy. I also see a computer screen. I see a wall. I see sunshine coming through the window. I'm using images like Sophie looking at the wide world when she was sitting on the tree to help manage myself. So I've checked in with my sensations, how my body's feeling. I've I've assessed the images I see in the world around me. And next I would look at my feelings. I would consider my feelings. Okay, we usually now my hope is that you guys are able to recognize some of your feelings. Okay, hopefully many of you can do that. Okay, so as I stated earlier in the read aloud, my feelings right now are happy. Okay, but even now, having gone through recognizing my sensations, identifying images around me, my feelings have actually changed a little bit. I was happy and super excited reading you guys the read aloud, but now I honestly could say I'm feeling a little bit more calm. I'm actually getting to a more regulated state. Okay, I actually feel like the images one is one that I work from a lot. That helps me. Sometimes we may pull from one. I feel like that images one really helped me kind of come to a more regulated state, but another one might be yours. You connecting with your feelings of content, happiness, excitement, fear, anxiety, naming it. Remember, name it. If you name it, you can tame it. That might bring you to a more regulated state. And the next thing we need to assess are our thoughts. What are you thinking about? I'm thinking about the length of this video, to be honest. I'm thinking I've got 5th graders that might be ready to be done. Maybe some 4th graders that are thinking about doing something else. So those are my thoughts. Okay? I'm also thinking about you guys just generally. Like, I wonder how y'all are doing. Okay? What are your thoughts? Is that something you connect with? You know, just spending a quiet moment. Does that bring you back to a regulated state? Because you being regulated helps others be regulated. Your calm is contagious. Did you know that? Yeah. If you are calm, others can be calm or will be calm. Especially if you're a big brother or big sister. Yeah. You can help your mom and dad or whoever it is that's taking care of you too. So sifting can help us self-manage. There's lots of other things too that are out there, like lots of people like to do belly breathing, right? Taking slow, deep breaths to help calm and regulate our body. That's something that's really quite easy to find on YouTube. And I will try to link a few good videos on that. I wanted to share something a little different with you guys. I wanted to share something that I connect with as a counselor. Okay? Some people, one other thing people like to do, when they're feeling a little dysregulated, they might use visualization. Ooh, that's a long word, right? They practice painting a picture or visualizing something in their mind that helps calm them down. You may have heard an adult or even a kid say, I'm going to go to my happy place. That's kind of like visualization. Like, where is the place you would be that makes you most happy? For some people, it's, hiking through the woods, riding their bike on the riverfront, playing basketball, drawing in their own quiet space, in their garden, planting veggies and flowers and fruit. Everybody has their own happy place. Sometimes we need something different than that. So the belly breathing can help, the visualization can help, and I'll link to a couple of resources if you want those. I want you guys to also consider SIFT. I want you to consider it. Assessing the sensations in your body. Looking at the images around you. Identifying and not judging, but identifying your feelings. Because all feelings are real. Okay, they're not good, they're not bad, they're all real. And then recognizing our thoughts. When we do this, when we sift, when we belly breathe, when we use visualization, we can bring ourselves to a place where we're persevering through challenges like distance learning, being away from our friends, being kind of, stuck in our houses. We can persevere through those challenges more successfully, and we can help those around us and influence those around us with our positive and calm behavior. Feel free to leave me a comment. I will do my best to respond. You can also leave me questions, of course. Okay, let me know if you try SIFT, if you try belly breathing, if you try visualization to help manage your feelings and your emotions. I'd love to hear. Okay, see you later, alligators.